Guys, welcome back to our continuing coverage of Knightquest the Crusade. I'm going to do two issues this time, Shadow of the Bat number 27 and number 26. Oops, I got them backwards. Let's switch those right here. There we go, 26 and 27. This is called Creatures of Clay, and if you've been watching this in real time, you'll notice I haven't posted a video in about 2 months, and I got behind on a lot of stuff, and I got the flu, and so now I'm going to get back into it. If you haven't been watching this real time and you've just discovered it, then hey, you've not missed anything. This is kind of indicative of why I think Knightquest the Crusade had some trouble, and that is we don't really get the top-notch villains. There was a Joker story, but it's not the greatest of Joker stories. And here we've got Clayface, but it's not the Clayface we know. It's Lady Clayface and Clayface number 5 or 12 or 3.14 or something like that. And I think Knightquest suffered from not having top villains again and again and again. In this, it fills in some of the backstory. So we start off, like always, the title page in Shadow of the Bat, and then a little ad for Spawn. The Image guys had just come out around then, and we see opens up with a support group for the kids that were on the bus that Abattoir attacked. And they're kind of being led by Dr. Leslie Tompkins, which it's always strange to see her old now that I've been watching Gotham. But she's running the support group, and in the support group is Graham Etchison, and this kind of fills in some of the gap of what happened to Graham. And this couple pages, a lot of Commissioner Gordon just filling in the backstory. And Batman's watching, and he's trying to protect Graham because he knows Abattoir is after him, but he can't be spending all his time just searching or protecting one man because Gotham is a crime-ridden, filthy cesspool that needs his attention. And so as Batman is kind of on patrol here, one of the gargoyles turns to life or comes alive, and it takes Batman by surprise. Look at that. Tries to kill him. And Batman at first has no idea who this is. Thinks it might be a villain called the Gargoyle, but doesn't quite fit the MO. And they're fighting, and at this point you don't know what the heck's going. I mean, you know what's going on. They're fighting, but you don't know why or how this relates to any of the story. And then the Gargoyle says, well, if I'm going to kill you, let me show you my true form. It's me, Lady Clayface, who Batman realizes had vanished months ago. And then we get the backstory. It fills in some of this, and you can see it's kind of like pages, almost like a diary. And it shows how Lady Clayface and Clayface number whatever here in the weird suit, which I don't know if these two even exists in the new 52 and Rebirth. They may have been retconned out. I don't even know. But anyway, what was his name? Preston Payne was his name. He suffers, he needs to kill humans in order to take away his pain. But they go off in like the woods in some national park somewhere in Gotham and are making a life here in the cave. And then we go back to the fighting. So we still don't know why she's doing this and why they're fighting. We got 2 pages of fighting. And then what we realize is while Batman is preoccupied, Payne here, Clayface number whatever, has gone after Graham Etchison, and those police can do nothing about it. So then we find out a little bit more that Clayface is having this pain, but they're gonna work through it, and they love each other, and it's so sweet. Until one day Clayface kind of isn't there. He's out on the road. He kills a guy, and then that gives them the time they can to be intimate with each other because it takes the pain away, which is kind of weird. Clayface is getting it on. But anyway, then we go back to present day. They're realizing, police officer's dead. Graham's been kidnapped. Batman's still fighting with Lady Clayface. And then Clayface here kind of says, that's it. I can't be cured. I can't fix this. We need to go on. And she says to him, well, you've got to be a better person because I don't want to be a single parent, which is, yay, we're having a Clay baby Clayface. I don't know why it says 19 on. Oh, is that page 19? Oh, that's the page number. I thought that was part of his suit. I'm like, why does his suit have 19 on it? And that's page 19. But anyways, where do we go? All right, so then there's a little more. They break down the door here, Clayface. Let's get Graham. Poor Graham. He is the unluckiest guy in the whole Knightquest thing. People think, Jean Paul's the victim, or it's Graham is the poor guy. And then, Clayface is going to get him. But Graham's actually a pretty good guy, Like, he sacrifices himself for Leslie. Hey, there's our boy Tim Drake. He does make an appearance in an ad for the Huntress crossover. And there's Graham being taken away. Calls the police. Batman's still struggling with Lady Clayface, and it will be continued next issue. Baby Clayface. What is it blurry? Stop being blurry. Come on. There we go. Next issue, Baby Clayface. So, next issue, all right, once again opens with the splash page, which I always thought this was kind of a cheat. This was a way to, like, steal a page from us. 9 Inch Nails. It was a great album. Alright, so anyway, we're back to the fight here. This fight is taking forever. But finally, after several panels and several pages, Batman electrifies his suit, which incapacitates Lady Clayface. And he kind of knows that she wasn't really going for the killer blow because she was holding back, because she didn't really want to kill him. And then they start investigating, the police here. They're investigating. This, man, that's rough. When that happens, that's a bad day. And so Clayface is bringing Graham somewhere. He's just kind of walking around. There's some graffiti, third base, maybe. And then we find Abattoir. This guy he gets around, man. This guy was a crazy villain here. And he's got the baby Clayface, who's pretty old. And he's like the babysitter for him. It's kind of weird. So he's holding baby Clayface ransom, and in order for the Clayfaces to get their baby back, they need to kill Batman and bring him his cousin Graham Etchison, because Abattoir is a mass murderer who only wants to kill people in his own family, which that gets kind of old after a while, to be honest. All right, so then, so somehow that book that was telling the backstory has the story of the Clayfaces, and so Abattoir, to get baby Clayface to crying, decides to read the story of his parents' love. And then, what do they got? Somehow medical scanners in there. Whatchamacallit, their cave. I don't know where they plug it in, but they can see the fetus is a clay fetus, and they're going to love it, because what's important is that its parents love it. Oh, how sweet. All right, and he's building him a rocking horse, and then they tell this really bad joke. Said, let's call the baby Cassius, as in Cassius Clay. Hilarious, funny. All right, and so then we got more of Batman fighting Lady Clayface. 6 more panels of it. All right, and then she finally says, "You've condemned our baby to death." And then we go back to the baby, and here's the clay baby. It's not very nice looking here, and Abattoir tries to shut the kid up with a Kit Kat or a Milky Way or something. That was kind of funny. So then we've got somehow Batman, Lady Clayface, this is just a stretch here, she had on her where to meet Abattoir. And so we've got Abattoir with the baby on a fire escape with some power lines. Those will come into play later. And we've got Clayface number 57 and 2/3 coming with Graham Etchison. And we've got Batman on his way because he knows, and the baby's in jeopardy. And long story short, Clayface freaks out and starts trying to kill Abattoir. Somehow this little kid who grew so fast, can speak already, breaks open his bars here. Just as Clayface is going to kill Abattoir, Batman steps in and saves Abattoir, which is kind of weird because, he's supposed to be this crazy Asbats, insane villain, and here he is saving Abattoir, although basically saving Abattoir kills Graham Etchison because it condemns him to death. But anyway, this is part of the problem with this, is they didn't know how to write Jean Paul. They wanted to make him a hero, but then they also want to make him a crazy villain, and they just don't know what they're doing. But anyway, here we kind of at this point, I'm pretty bored with the story, but it keeps going. And so where do we get to? So then the baby decides it can fly, so it creates wings and jumps out and I don't know how this baby can break the ledge, do all this stuff, fly, but then it can't fly, and it's heading right to the power lines. But luckily, Batman saves Clay Baby. And I don't know how that creates such a explosion. Those are the worst power lines in Gotham. But anyways, Clayface gets his baby back, but gets in prison, and we don't know what's going to happen to the baby and Clayface, and we don't really care. And I think they come back at some point, so we'll have to find out. We don't even know what's going on with Lady Clayface, but it sets this up, and I would wonder this, because how did this happen? Abattoir has got Graham Etchison. He's putting the weights on his chest one by one, and as we saw in the podcast, and we'll see later on, this will not end well for Graham. And Abattoir is not my favorite villain. So anyway, that is Shadow of the Bat 26 and 27 in our Knightquest series, and I hope you liked it, and I will see you next time as we talk some more Knightquest.